Geoff Manchester from iZotope. In this video, we're continuing our exploration of lesser known or hidden features in our tools. To catch up on previous videos we've done around Neutron Pro, RX Pro for Music, and Ozone Pro, you can check a nested playlist here on YouTube. Now, Neutron is to mixing what Ozone is to mastering. It's an intelligent modular channel strip that's designed to help you with virtually any mixing task. Before we get started, if you haven't tried Neutron Pro, you can get it for free in a trial of Music Production Suite Pro at iZotope.com, and that way you'll have it up in front of you with this video to help you with the educational process. Without further ado, let's jump into 10 hidden features in Neutron Pro. The masking meter in Neutron Pro may come as no surprise for longtime users of the product. That being said, in my trainings and travels and in talking to customers and users, I still find that people don't know about the masking meter, or they know a little bit about it, but not enough to take full advantage of its power. So let's break down first how to find it in Neutron Pro, and then how to take advantage of it in your next mix. When Neutron is used on 2 or more tracks in your digital audio workstation, Masking Meter uses inter-plugin communication to show you areas in the EQ where one track clashes with another. You can use the Masking Meter between 2 individual tracks, an individual track and a bus, between 2 buses. The choice is yours. Once you've got 2 Neutrons set up, you'll spot the Masking Meter icon here. When you click open this drop-down menu, Neutron Pro will look for the other iZotope plugins in your session. To keep things simple, I placed another Neutron on the bass track, so it populates for me here in the menu. By clicking on that track, the interface of the EQ changes a little. Now we can see new controls. At the bottom of the EQ window, we have these 2 tabs. The first represents the Neutron we're currently using, our kick, and the second represents the Neutron on the other track, our bass. I can toggle between them like this. Let's explore what we're seeing. The orange trace represents the frequency energy of the track on the other Neutron. The intermittent orange flashes represent where masking might be occurring between my 2 tracks. If I want even more help perceiving masking, I can increase the sensitivity. Now, these pink columns will emerge, giving me a histogram of masking over time. So now that we understand what we're seeing, we can take action. Based on where these flashes show up, I can decide to cut energy out of one track so that the other track isn't clashing with it in that particular energy range. Let's say I want to remove energy from the corresponding track so that it doesn't interfere with the intelligibility of my main kick track here. Thanks to interplugin communication, I don't have to open up the other Neutron Pro's EQ, and that's because I can tap to it over here and make that dip. Now, it might look like I'm performing this cut on the kick track, but it's actually remote controlling the bass's EQ track, all from the main EQ track on my kick track. To prove it, I'll open up the bass track's EQ and you can see that dip carried over. In fact, as I make more moves, you can see that I'm remote controlling the bass's EQ. If you want to make specific boosts and cuts, you can use the inverse link. Now, a boost on one track will trigger a cut in the corresponding track in that specific area. You can always use the bypass EQ to see what effect your EQ masking work has had on your mix by toggling it on and off here. By helping you to quickly find and remove these clashes, Masking Meter gets you a balanced mix faster than ever. The EQ in Neutron is a powerful tool. You've got dynamic EQ bands, side chaining, unmasking, and more. But what many people don't know is that there's a soft saturation tool, which is there to give you analog warmth when you need it. Soft saturation adds harmonic excitement to the signal. It's not like the Exciter, however, which tries to emulate tubes, tape, and other sounds. This excitement is fashioned on a classic British console equalizer, which means to expect a delicate helping of sonic enhancement. So consider enabling it to add even more warmth to a bass line, or tone to a rhythm guitar. Ideally, to get the best of soft saturation, you'll want to be making boosts rather than cuts. and you can always toggle the icon off and on to hear the difference that soft saturation imparts on a mix. iZotope's tools have always been assistive in nature. Take our compressors and EQs, which offer rich, vibrant visual information to see what you're EQing or compressing against the sound source in real time with spectral information. Or the AI-powered assistants that listen and then give you a great starting point. Well, did you know that there's a micro-assistive tool in the EQ that will settle the EQ nodes over areas of sonic importance where you might want to dip or cut energy from? You'll notice this little EQ Learn toggle at the top right of the module. EQ Learn helps you to quickly locate frequency areas of interest, such as harshness, resonance, and more, so you know where to start cutting. To get the process started, make sure some audio is playing on a track you're going to EQ. Then press the EQ Learn toggle. Now you'll see the nodes move around as they listen for areas of sonic importance. After some time, they'll settle and you can consider their resting spots, places where you might want to cut by pulling down a node in static or dynamic mode. Now be sure to listen back to your moves either by engaging and then disengaging the individual nodes themselves or by bypassing the module altogether. Remember, assistive tools are here to help by offering a suggestion. It's up to you to make the final decision using your ears. A relatively new feature in Neutron Pro might have escaped your attention. It's called Oscilloscope, and it's a novel way to see how compression affects your sound source. Let me show you where to find it and how it works. You can activate the oscilloscope view with a button at the top of Neutron's compressor. Now you'll see the oscilloscope meter. It's a meter that appears as a scrolling visualization of a waveform. You can use this view to see the effects your compression settings are having as you make adjustments in real time. You can use it on a single source like a kick drum to see how your compression settings are affecting its waveform. Or you can use Oscilloscope view to dial in your perfect sidechain, as you're better able to visualize your kick and bass together to see your compression as settings are applied to each as you sidechain. Sculptor is a powerful combination of equalization and compression bundled together in a technology and a process known as spectral shaping. But what many people don't know is that there's a lot of hidden features within the module itself. Let me show you a few of them. Many people already know how to get started with Sculptor. Just instantiate it on the sound source you're working on, go to the profile that matches your source, and then adjust the parameters to taste. But what some people don't realize is that you can omit parts of the frequency domain from spectral shaping using the built-in bands. To focus the processing on one area over another, just drag out these bands to protect certain portions from processing. So if you like what Sculptor is doing to the low end more than the high end, drag the slider out like this. And another hidden workflow in Sculptor is the ability to use different profiles on different sound sources in creative and unexpected ways. For example, try a guitar profile on a snare drum or a vocal profile on a piano and see what happens. The Exciter module in Neutron Pro is there to give you blendable flavors of saturation. But what some people don't realize is that there are ways you can really tailor and customize the enhancement of the saturation in your mix. Saturation can add complex harmonic information over top of what you've recorded. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, which is why you've got this filter to protect the high end from saturation. The post filter applies gentle shelving for attenuation and is displayed as a high shelf icon overlaid on the multiband spectrum view. You can drag the post filter node to adjust the frequency and gain of the filter. The post filter will affect the entire wet signal, which can help adjust, attenuate, and tame the Exciter module's high frequency response. The limiter is one of the most lesser-known features in Neutron Pro. Let's take a moment to go over all of its flavors and parameters so you can really get acquainted with this powerful tool. Above the input and output meters, you'll find the limiter and its controls. Click here to enable the BS 1770 compliant True Peak limiter to process digital loudness maximization of your output signal while preventing true peak overflows across all of your mono, stereo, and surround, more on that later, channels. You'll see a couple of things when you enable the limiter. When the limiter is actively limiting audio, you'll see the amount of gain reduction shown in orange from the top of the meter. The output gain slider here acts as the limiter input gain when the limiter is enabled. Slide up or down to increase the loudness of your audio, up to 10 dB of additional input gain to the limiter without affecting the true peak level. Let's go over the styles. You can choose from one of 3 character options for more direct control over the adaptive, transparent nature of the limiting algorithm. If you choose clear, the limiter will respond more quickly in order to better present fast-moving transient material in the mix. Smooth is the most common, best-sounding middle ground between clear and thick. It's the most appropriate algorithm for the majority of program material, including vocals and dialogue. If you choose thick, the limiter will respond to audio more slowly, useful for louder, slower-moving sounds like a big explosion sound effect or a bass or low-frequency swell, where you wouldn't want an aggressive limiter to break up the sound. Just like Ozone, Neutron has different algorithms that you can choose for how the limiter behaves. You can choose to optimize the limiter in 3 different ways. IRC2, which has a transparent sonic quality, IRC-LL, which is low latency, and the third, Hard, which has a sonic quality typical of a brick wall limiter. If you've seen our hidden features video on Ozone Pro, then this technique might not be so hidden to you. It's about how to tweak the multiband compressors in Neutron Pro so that they respond and behave a little bit differently depending on the frequency information coming in. When you open up the detection circuit filter in the compressor module in Neutron Pro, you can adjust the frequency response of the detection circuit so that it is more or less sensitive to specific frequencies. This is really helpful if you want to prevent low frequencies from triggering the compressor to work harder than it needs to, often causing a pumping effect. Parallel processing is a great way to get the best of both worlds, a blended wet and dry signal that you can dial in to taste. Did you know that in Neutron Pro, you have a totally streamlined parallel processing method with just one slider? Let me show you how it works. Parallel processing can happen at the module level here by adjusting the slider. That's it. No parameter routing required. This means you can really balance guitar levels with one compressor and crush them tastefully with another compressor, dialing in that crush sound to taste. Add sheen and sparkle to keys with Sculptor or the EQ with extreme settings in the upper mids and high end, and then blend them in subtly with the mix sliders. The possibilities are endless, and you can also find mix sliders across our other products in Music Production Suite Pro, like Nectar Pro, Ozone Pro, and Vocal Synth Pro. Many people who use Neutron Pro are probably mixing music, but if you do any post-production work, there's a trove of hidden functionality for you within Neutron Pro. For example, Neutron Pro has tons of post-focus presets and offers up to 7.1 support. Let's dig in a little deeper. If you head to the preset menu, you'll see that Neutron Pro is stocked with presets for post-production dialogue, master track, music, production elements, and sound effects. You can preview these effects in real time as you scroll past them. So whether you're working on a movie trailer or Foley enhancement, Neutron Pro has you covered. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that these now apparent tips and techniques and tricks will be genuinely helpful to you in your next mix. As ever, head to iZotope.com to get more free educational content and to download a free trial of Music Production Suite Pro. Thanks for watching and take care.